Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Renata and I have a super exciting video for you all today. If you've seen my videos before, especially my last one about fashion career tips and also my TikTok story times, then you know how much I believe in networking. I think that networking, especially in the fashion industry, is the way to make it in this industry. And the way that I found most effective is through using LinkedIn. For some people, this video may seem like pretty straightforward, but I know a lot of people who don't do this because they just don't know how. So I wanted to make sure that I put in example emails and everything so that you know what to say and that you're not nervous about it. I know it's super anxiety inducing to reach out to strangers. Like personally, I'm so scared of it and I hate rejection, but it's something that you have to work on and you can do it, and I'm just here to help you get the tools to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to do a separate networking video on other ways you can network, but I just wanted to give LinkedIn its own personal video because that is the way that I have found the most success. For those who are new to my channel, I'm currently a production assistant at Coach, and before that, I was able to land some amazing internships such as Oscar de la Renta, Tibby for Fashion Week, and a fashion PR agency where I got to work with brands such as Clarks, Kipling, Swarovski, like a ton of brands, honestly. I got to do so many different accounts and it was really great. And I got all of this really through networking on LinkedIn. I would like to start out by saying that I had zero connections in the fashion industry before my junior year of college. I literally had no idea what I wanted to do. I quit pre-med my sophomore year and decided to go into the School of Media and Journalism. I spoke to some people who interned in fashion PR the second semester of my sophomore year, and it really struck my interest, but it was already like midway through sophomore year semester. I had no experience, no nothing. I did not intern the summer after my sophomore year, and I was super late to the game. I was still able to pull through and get some amazing internships just because of LinkedIn networking. Again, I had zero connections and I was able to build them all myself within the matter of about 6 months, which is kind of incredible. Obviously, it's an ongoing process, and now I've been in the industry, well, I'm combining my intern experience with my job experience for about 3 years now. So I definitely have built upon my network, but getting that solid base core that I'm still very much in touch with, I did through doing all the steps I'm about to tell you. So I also want to start out by saying that your goal of networking should never be to just like get a referral. Honestly, that is a great thing to get. I found most valuable from networking is definitely just hearing from people in the industry's experiences and learning from them, and then applying that to your own career journey. Like I remember meeting with some people for coffee and them just like really being so authentic about what I was going to get into in the industry that I felt prepared and ready when it was my first day of my internship or when I was going to apply to that job because they had warned me or told me about their experiences. I was able to not make the same mistakes as them, but also do what worked for them as well. And I was able to tailor my path based on all the experiences that I heard from. That information will definitely stay with you for your entire career, so network with the intention of learning. Okay, so let's get into networking on LinkedIn. As soon as you get to college, really, or even in high school, honestly, you might as well start. I would make sure you set up your profile and do it well. So some ways to really enhance your profile is definitely make sure you have a good picture. It should be a headshot. Doesn't have to be from a fancy camera or anything. Mine is because my school did free headshots, and I think a lot of other colleges, and I think maybe some high schools do the same thing. But if you aren't able to get access to a photographer or you can't afford one, an iPhone works just as fine. All you need is a phone or a camera. Take a picture in front of a non-distracting background. Something simple like a blank wall, like a white wall or solid colored wall or something. Not too complicated. And make sure that like whatever top you're wearing is obviously appropriate. Next, you'll want to have a bio. This should be basically the 2 to 3 pitch of who you are and what you want to look for on LinkedIn. Like, what career are you going into? What are you passionate about? Who are you? Definitely take your time and write this and really think about it. This is what mine is currently, but definitely make sure you have a good bio and that it's up to date. Next, you're gonna wanna add your resume so that it's able to be downloaded as a PDF by people who are looking at it to your profile. Definitely attach a resume. If you have a portfolio or website, I would also link that to your LinkedIn as well. It's super great to just have all that materials on there so that when recruiters are looking or HR people are looking, they have that information right at their fingertips. Next, make sure to fill out all of your recent experiences. If you were younger, don't be afraid to put your clubs. Like, if you were a leader in like the fashion magazine, whatever, like put that there. Like, I still think that I have some of that still on my LinkedIn. I'll put a picture here again. So don't be afraid to put that. That is your experience until you were able to get like the big like summer internship, whatever experiences. Those are still valid and important, so be sure to put those. If you had any deliverables at any of those experiences, attach those too. Like if you were a writer at your school magazine, attach your articles. In your education section, like obviously put your schools, high school and college or whatever. But also, I think that if you have any relevant projects, it's super cool to attach those as well. So that, again, if you maybe not have that classic internship experience, recruiters can still see, like for internships, that you have an interest in this field. You did your projects on this field. This kind of goes back to the tip that I said in my last video, that you should try to tailor your projects in school to fit that of the fashion industry. If you were told to write a research paper, maybe write one about a fashion house or something. Like, and finally, add all the skills that you know, such as like Adobe, iMovie, Adobe Premiere Suite or whatever, Excel, whatever you know. Make sure to add those skills, because a lot of the times jobs will filter based on the keywords of skills. So make sure you have skills that match the job that you want to go into. So that's it for actually filling out your profile. Your next step is to start looking for connections. Start by going to brands that you really, really want to work for. So say I want to work for Gucci. I would go to Gucci's page, go to the People tab, and then filter by school. So I went to the University of North Carolina, so I would type in UNC, and I would see all the people who work at Gucci who went to my college. If there are none, okay, sad. But if there is someone, I would request to connect with them. And you always need to add a note. Like anytime you connect with someone on LinkedIn, you need to add a little invite note so that they know who you are and why you want to connect with them, especially if you've never met them in person before. So I would probably attach a note that looks something like this. Here's one actual thing that I've sent to someone. It goes along the lines of like, hey, I'm Renata. I'm a student at UNC Chapel Hill, interested in the fashion industry. I would love to learn about your experience in the fashion world. Could we set up a Zoom call or a coffee if we're in the same state to discuss this further? Best, Renata. That is all you need, and fingers crossed they reply. I'm telling you that not everyone is going to reply. It will be okay if they don't reply. All you need is really a few people to actually respond and give you that networking advice. I'm sure someone will eventually respond. It really only takes like 1, 2, 3 people to really help you along and understand the industry really well. So don't get discouraged. Keep on trying to expand. You guys have now connected. He or she has accepted your request and has agreed to the Zoom call. What do you do now? Well, definitely come prepared with questions, and good questions. 1, do your research on the person you are networking with. Look at their work history. Try to find articles about them. Figure out who they are and what their experiences have been. Use that to ask your questions. You should not be asking very general questions that you could Google. Like, you should not be asking, like, what is fashion PR? Or what fashion career should I have? Those questions are just so broad, and honestly, like, you can Google that. Like, if you made it to this point, I would hope that you have the initiative to use Google and in your free time, research the different types of careers you may want. You should be asking specific questions about their experience and how they felt about it. But so say the Mr. Gucci employee is head of like fashion PR at the brand right now, but used to do like marketing or merchandising. I would ask, like, what was that transition like? How did you make that transition? What skills made it easy to do that transition? Also, I would ask about company culture. Like, what are the favorite places you worked, and what did they have? Like, what did the company do for you that you feel like really, really worked well? Was the culture good? Was the culture tough? I would also ask what their day-to-day is like. What kind of skills do they use on a daily basis? Like, if you were interested in the career that they are doing, I would write down those skills and try to find opportunities that will allow you to learn them. That way, when it comes to applying for a job, you will have those skills that you will use every day, and you will also be good at them. So definitely do that. Those are just some quick little examples of what you should be thinking about and asking when you are on this networking call or in-person coffee date. Now that that coffee date or Zoom call is over, what do you do now? Always send a thank you note. Literally, just like something quick with a little sentence about like what you took away from the call or meeting. I would say something along the lines of like, hi blank, it was lovely speaking with you today. I'm so grateful that you took time out of your day to speak with me. I really appreciated learning about blank, 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 and would love to stay in touch in the future. Have a great day. Best, Renata. Like, that would literally be golden. Doesn't have to be too long. Just try to make it heartfelt and specific. Like, those little blank, blank, blanks should be like, if you talked about marketing, like say marketing. If you talked about like how the work culture or something like that, like add those little details in there so that they feel like you really listened and learned something and you have that connection. I bet you think we're done, but we are most certainly not done. Always follow up, like continue to keep this connection going. Every few months or so, give them a little update on your life. Ask how they're doing. If you see on LinkedIn that they've moved to a different company, congratulate them. Or just like always keep that connection going. Like when I was in college, after a semester, I would email some of my connections and be like, hi, this is Renata. We had coffee back in May. I am now going into my senior year. I just finished my internship at blank. I learned so much about this, and this. As I embark on my last year of college, I just wanted to let you know your knowledge really, really helped me throughout my internship, and I am super grateful. As I enter the industry next year, I feel super confident. Hope you're doing well, and then ask them some questions about them. If it's a little bit later in your senior year of college, I would add a little line about, I hope you keep me in mind. If there are any open positions or you hear anything in the industry, I would love to be considered. And that'll put you right at the top of their mind. And if they do see something, especially if you're at the end of your senior year, they could possibly reach out to you with an opportunity or come back to you with an opportunity. And that would be amazing because then you could secure a job. This tip kind of applies to someone who didn't go to school in New York City. But since I was away from New York City for my semesters, I couldn't get like in-person coffee dates with people for networking. I only could do phone calls. But when I came to the city in the summertime, I made a point of meeting with those people who I'd spoke on the phone with in person. They're not always going to be available because of their schedules, but if you can take that phone call connection and then meet with them a second time in person, it'll just make that bond even stronger and you'll be able to learn even more from them. Honestly, these tips probably apply to other industries too. This is just like how I did it for fashion. So I just took you through basically the steps of just one LinkedIn connection. You can probably do that for at least, I'm gonna say at least 10 people. It could be way more than that. Like, I think I personally have reached out to like 20, 25, 30 plus people on LinkedIn this way and have had phone calls with them and connections with them. It does take a lot of time. This is something that you should prioritize and you should be doing early. Another tip that I have that's really my last tip is that if you already have some internship experience at a company, be sure to add your bosses and the people you worked with, like, because you should be reaching out to those people and maintaining those relationships with those people the same way that you did to the person you kind of cold message. And that is pretty much it for my video. I hope you took something away from this and that you use these tools. This video really goes hand in hand with my last fashion career tip video from last Tuesday. This should be something that you start doing as soon as you get to campus. Like, literally take an hour, 2 hours out of your week, send some messages, set up your profile, and really get that going as soon as possible. We'll be uploading fashion career tip videos every Tuesday, so please subscribe to my channel. I also will be having vlogs on Thursdays, and check me out on Instagram. Bye guys.